Alright, so in the last video we connected to Firebase and we are pulling back all those data from our database. As you can see, we are showing those values right here on our page. Let me just quickly go back to the Players app right here. So we are showing all this data from Firebase. And it's looking ugly, so we want to add Bootstrap to make it look nice. So to add Bootstrap to our application, let's bring back our terminal. And to install Bootstrap, we can do that with npm. We simply do npm install Bootstrap, and let's do dash dash save so that it gets saved as a dependency. So I hit the enter button, and there you have it. It's going to bring back our Bootstrap to our application. So for us to see that, if we go to the node modules folder and we scroll down a bit, we should have Bootstrap somewhere. Here, there we have it. We have Bootstrap here. You can find that from the node modules folder. And now we just have to copy the CSS link. We have a distributable folder here where we have the CSS and the JavaScript files, and we just put that in our angular.json file. Alright, so let's just go down a bit. You have bootstrap.css. Let's copy Bootstrap, the minimized version, and I'm going to copy the relative part. Going to close this terminal, close the node module for now, and I'm going to open back angular.json file, and this is where you configure everything for the application. You have the root, and here you have the serve, where you serve the application to the browser, and then you have this array here. This is where you add your styles to the application. So this is where we'll be adding our Bootstrap styles. So here I'm going to paste that relative part that I copied from the node module, and there we have the CSS style, and also we want to add the JavaScript file that we get from Bootstrap on the script array. So I'm going to bring back the node module, go to node module, and I'll go over to the JavaScript folder, and I would grab the relative part for the bootstrap.min.js file. So I'll copy the relative part, and I'm going to head over to the angular.json file. I'm going to add the script right there. Alright, so this is the way that we can add Bootstrap to our Angular application. And after we've done this, because we have changed the angular.json file, we just have to rebuild our application again for it to take effect. So I'm going to bring back our terminal, and I'm going to stop the server from running. So let's do this, and I'm going to issue out the serve command again. So ng serve, and this would build back the application and add those dependencies that we just added. So now it's compiled successfully. So let's see how we can make that table look nicer with Bootstrap. Okay, so I'm going to close back this terminal, and then I'm going to head over to the application player component.html. So this is our nice HTML table, and we want to add some Bootstrap classes here. So we can add a class of table right here, and if I save that, we should have the bootstrap table. Alright, so we don't get our table because I see that we have a mistake here. We added the bootstrap script to our test. So here, this is the test part, and we shouldn't be adding it there. We should add it to the build part. So right here. So I'm just going to copy back that over and paste it here for the JS, and I'll do the same thing for the styles. So I'll copy it and then go back to the styles and add it here, and then let's rebuild the application again. So I'll go head over to the terminal and have the application running. So I'm going to stop it first, and then I can run ng-serve again. And this time it should get back all our dependency and add bootstrap to our application. Okay, so bootstrap is now added to our application. When we add that class to the table, our application looks like this. And I just quickly open the bootstrap page so you can see, because this is bootstrap 5, some of the classes are different from what we have in bootstrap 4. To add a table, we can still use this table class to add the table. And something that is different is the way you add the color. Previously, you can just add a class of t-head to the table head and it's going to make it dark, but now you can use different colors. So for the dark color here, you can do table dash dark to make the table dark. So we're going to do that to our table, because right now the table is just it has a white heading here and we want to make it dark. So let's quickly do that by let's close the terminal and let's head back to our HTML file, and we have the table class, and we also want to add table dash dark to make the heading dark. So table alright, so that has made the heading of the table dark. So this is looking nice and good. The next thing I want to do is I want to add a navigation at the top and put all this table into a container so it would look nice. Alright, so on the Bootstrap website, if we head over to the examples, you want to go down straight. You have different examples of what you can use. We want to use a navbar, so I like this example of this navbar that we have here, navbar fixed. So I want to copy it. I'm going to go to view page source, and then we're going to go over to the navbar here, and we can copy this, what we have here. Alright, so we can copy our navbar and add it at the top, but first let's create a component for that, and we're going to have a component for the navbar, and we're going to place that at the entry point of our application. So let's quickly open back our terminal, and we want to generate another component. So G for generate, C for component, and we want to put that in the components folder, and we're going to call that component nav for our navbar, and let's also do skip test so that we don't have any unit test. Alright, so we have our navbar generated, so I'm going to close back that terminal and head over to that component. You know what, actually you can do this with Command P and thus then you can search for whatever component you want. I think it's better that way. And we can paste that component that we copied from Bootstrap. So this is our nav component here. And then if we head over to app.component, so I'm going to do the same thing, Command P and app.component.html. We can add a container here, so Bootstrap Container. It's going to center everything on our application, and I can put the routing page here, and at the top of the container I can put the nav, and the selector for nav is app-nav. Right, how did I know that the selector is app-nav? If we go back to the nav.ts, right here you see the name of the selector for any component that you generated, so that's app.nav. Alright, so we add that to the app.component.html and let's see what it looks like. So I'm going to bring over the browser so you can see what it looks like. There you go, we have the Bootstrap navigation bar, and then you have the table, but if you notice everything, the table is covered by the navbar, so we need a little CSS to push down this table so it's going to look better. So how we can do this is we can head over to Command P style.css. This is where we have all the global styles for our application, and then for the body we can just give it a padding top of 80 pixels, and if we do that we're going to have our application looking like this. So we have our navbar at the top and we have our bootstrap table at the bottom, and everything is centered on the page, right? So I also like this links on the navbar to be at the center. Right now it's using container fluid that makes it at the start, so to make it center we can use container. So let's head back to our application here, and I'm going to go to nav component.html, and here we have it container fluid. So if we change that back to container, if we change back that to container, we should have it centered. I'm going to bring back, yeah. So now it's centered. We have the fixed navbar, home link, and the other link right here. So we want to get rid of this search bar and give the right names to our navigation links. So let's head back to our application, and right here we want to call this our application players app. Then we want to set up the route to the root of the application, which was just an empty string, so we're just going to leave it like that. And we can do the same thing for here. Let's have a player, or can call it players, and for the link that should route to the same as the application. So this would be player, and let's get rid of the other one, and let's get rid of the form as well. And for the final link, we are going to call it add player, and then we're going to have a route for that. But right now we don't have any route for that, so let's just leave it as href. Alright, so if I head over to the browser and check that, okay, it's looking more like it. We have the players app that comes here, and then we have another add player here that does nothing. So later we'll be adding that add player to our application, but for now this looks good. We have our navigation, we have the bootstrap table. Next thing I want to do is I want to add a button here to give me the details. So I have a button here. If I click on it, I get the player's details. So we're going to do that in the next video.